winners? Let the pros show you how to make money. General Manager Al DeMarco, a regular contributor on Fox Sports, MSNBC, and Comcast Sports TV, brings over 25 years of handicapping experience to the table. CEO Steve Budin, the author of Bets, Drugs, and Rock and Roll, is the man responsible for creating the online betting industry. Together, they lead PickNation.com, your #1 source for winners.
Back in the 90s, I used to host a nationwide sports talk show dealing with handicapping, college basketball, NBA, college and pro football. And the one thing that I always told all my listening audience, there are no guarantees in gambling. And we certainly saw that last week. Kansas State going down, Oregon going down, Notre Dame winning big. I mean, listen, there is so much uncertainty on a week-to-week basis. But I think this week, these games you have today, your traditional rivalry games and games where you have teams trying to still jockey for their postseason position, teams that are ineligible for bowls like Penn State, Ohio State, North Carolina, looking for one last hurrah to close out the season. I think these games are among the toughest to win the entire season. But that doesn't mean I don't have winners for you. In fact, I've got 4 free pick winners coming up for you in just a moment. Hi, everyone. Al DeMarco here, General Manager of the world's largest online sports gambling community, PickNation.com. Joining you here on FoxSports.com for a 6th consecutive year with the Countdown to Kickoff program, the only nationally advertised show to break down your key attractions in college and pro football from a point spread perspective, i.e., how you make money here in Vegas. First game I want to talk about, Texas A&M and Missouri. Listen, you realize Texas A&M wins this game, they are in a great position for a BCS bowl berth. And why shouldn't they win the game? They're playing in College Station. They're playing in revenge because remember, last year they lost 38-31 in overtime to Missouri. Of course, let's see, weren't they both in the Big 12? Now it's an SEC game. Hey, all these conference shifts, you can't keep track of them anyway. Yeah, they're a big 22-point favorite, but here's the deal. Missouri comes into this game at 5-6. They need one more win to become bowl eligible. They are not going to get it. They had their chance last week playing in Columbia. They were up late against Syracuse. Orangemen scored with a couple minutes to go. Missouri loses outright as a 5.5-point home dog. That's it. James Franklin hurt again. That's been the season story for these Missouri Tigers this year. Johnny Manziel, I mean, listen, what can I tell you about this guy? He's run for 1,114 yards. He's rushed for 17 touchdowns. He's thrown 21 touchdowns. I just don't see there's any way Texas A&M doesn't win this game and doesn't win it big. The Aggies' incredible season continues. They get the easy point spread cover. Next game coming up is going to be Penn State and Wisconsin. And guys, listen, before I get to that game, just a quick reminder, you know, over on PickNation.com, we have a free fantasy football contest we run every single week, and it's free to enter. $500 in total prize money. Top 20 finish in the money, and $125 to the first place winner. So check it out. If you entered last week, enter again today, guys. It's free. Once again, over at PickNation.com. Penn State, 2.5-point favorite, playing at home against Wisconsin. Now, the Badgers last week coming off a heartbreaking overtime loss to Ohio State, a game in which they trailed 14-0. They rally to tie the score in the closing minute of regulation, then they lose at 21-14 to the Buckeyes. But this game doesn't matter. They've already earned and clinched their bowl berth, their berth in the Big Ten championship game. So it really doesn't matter, but it means a hell of a lot to Penn State. One, it's a revenge game because last year the Lions were annihilated by the Badgers 45-7. Secondly, it's the home finale for a Lions team. I don't have to go into a long-term discussion here about what has happened to this program over the past year. You know that O'Brien has done a great job at holding this team together. The team has been able to score points at will this year. I mean, they've really played great ball, except against Ohio State at home, except when they coughed up a lead at Nebraska a couple weeks ago. I like the way they were in a battle with Indiana last week at home, but they then managed to pull away in the second half, extend the margin to get the cover in that contest. Now it's the home finale. They have won 18 of their last 21 home finales straight up, going 14-6-1 against the spread in that stretch. And here's one of those statistical anomalies you often find in handicapping. The straight-up winner in this series in the last 11 meetings has also covered the spread in Vegas. Well, guys, I think Penn State, this is their bowl game. They're ineligible for the postseason. This is it for them. The Lions, one last hurrah. They get it today. They cover the 2.5 points. Now, listen, if this line goes up to 3 points, guys, though, you got to buy down the half point in this contest, okay? I'm a firm believer that when a line crosses 3, 4, 7, sometimes 10, you're either buying up or buying down the half point, depending on whether you're betting the favorite or the underdog. Worst thing in the world is not to hedge the odds in your favor, using the power of money to do so, and walking away from a game with a loss when you could have, in worst case scenario, walked away with a push, or in best case scenario, walked away with the win. A lot of guys out there will say, oh my gosh, you know, you're buying insurance, it costs you too much money. Are you kidding me? Come on, I've been doing this for 25 years. Let me tell you something. If this is middle of baseball season and you're betting a 130 favorite, a 125 favorite, it's no different than buying off a 3, a half point up or down. What is the difference? There is no difference. Now, granted, if you're an action junkie and you're betting 7 or 8 games every single day and buying all those half points, well, that's ridiculous. But if you're like me, you find the one game on the board, that's the one you pound, and you happen to have to buy insurance, it's the smart financial choice, and it's basically an investment strategy, and more often than not, it will pay off in your favor when the half point comes into play, so keep that in mind. Next game is North Carolina, Maryland. Remember the last time North Carolina played at home? It was 2 weeks ago. Somebody here at the desk, which I guess would be me, told you to go with North Carolina against Georgia Tech. I think the Yellow Jackets are still scoring against the Tar Heels defense. I think they're up to 174 points in that game. I mean, it was an obliteration, but I like the way North Carolina rebounded from that 68-50 loss as a 9.5 point favorite. Went on national TV last Thursday, and they won in Charlottesville against Virginia 37-13. A Virginia team that was playing with some momentum, had won its 2 previous games, had come back and upset Miami of Florida 41-40 the week prior, playing at home. Well, now North Carolina comes at home, and this is a team much like Penn State, a team that's ineligible for postseason play, so this is the last hurrah for the Tar Heels. They are a 24.5 point favorite. So what? It's Maryland. I mean, Maryland, you know, after the next Maryland quarterback goes down, I don't know who they're going to put in next. I mean, they're on their 5th string quarterback. They got crushed by Florida State last week, 41-14. They lost 45-10 at Georgia Tech the week before that. This is a bad team. They can't score. They're giving up a ton of points. I know North Carolina's only won 1 time in the last 6 meetings straight up. I know North Carolina's only covered 1 time in the last 9 meetings against the spread. But in all those games, Maryland wasn't playing a 5th string quarterback who started the season as a linebacker. So you go ahead, lay the points here with the Tar Heels. Final pick is going to be a total, guys. Listen, my best bet last Saturday happened to be a total. And I've told guys this many, many times over the years. You know, when you have a winning ticket and you go the next day to the cashier's window here in Vegas, they don't pay you less for a winning total than they do for a winning side. Last week, my best bet was Utah State and Louisiana Tech going over the total by 16 points. I think you have another total here that can do exactly the same. That is going to be the Big 12 showdown between Texas Tech and Baylor. Truth be told, I actually like Texas Tech as a 2.5 point dog here. We know what Baylor did last week. They upset number 1 Kansas State. They're probably still celebrating in Waco up to kickoff in this game. This is a prime letdown spot for the Bears. But why waste your time trying to figure out if that's going to be true or not? Or if a Texas Tech team that got crushed at Oklahoma State last week can rebound on the road. The hell with the side, guys. You play this game over. You're saying, hey, it's 78 points. Well, listen, Baylor is giving up 43 points a game on the season in conference play. They're averaging 41 points a game in conference play. Texas Tech, their defense, well, I don't know if you can say their defense because they don't have a defense. Otherwise, I wouldn't be telling you they've given up 46.4 points the last 5 games. Both teams love to throw the ball. The more you throw the ball, more time you have on the clock, more offensive possessions, more chances to score. Again, 78 points, guys. Why not go with total? Forget the side. So that'll do it. Remember, guys, over at picknation.com, I've got a daily video report where you can get my top plays and free selections, all backed by in-depth analysis every single day for free. But just as important, today at picknation.com, you can get my best bet on the card and the best bets of every single handicapper at picknation.com for free, no strings attached, simply by checking out the 1-day all-access pass. That's right, 1-day free trial for the all-access pass. You are going to get $500–600 of action, all the plays from all the handicappers, all their analysis, nothing held back, for free at picknation.com. We're the only people in this business to even think of doing this because we have nothing to fear. I know that I've accumulated the best group of handicappers that can make you money over a long-term basis. What better way to prove it to you than putting my money where my mouth is by giving you all their action for free. Check it out. No strings attached. A one-day all-access pass available now for free over at picknation.com. And then remember, tomorrow here on foxsports.com, my partner, Steve Budin, will be joining me for the Sunday edition of the Countdown to Kickoff program. We'll catch you again this weekend.